California's power grid operator says it will not go ahead with planned outages. Its power supply is maxed out during a record heat wave, but asking residents to conserve energy seems to have worked, for now at least. Governor Gavin Newsom called last week's power outages unacceptable and vowed it wouldn't happen again. He also said it's time to sober up on the limitations of solar energy. Daniel Turner, founder and chief executive director of Power the Future, warned about this problem as early as 2017. I spoke with him earlier. Daniel, great to see you. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you for having me on.
Daniel, of course, our hearts go out to all the Californians who are really suffering during the incredibly extreme weather. What are some of the real steps that Governor Newsom can take to help alleviate the problem?
Well, he can reverse a lot of these policies which are pushing a green agenda. I have nothing against the green technology, wind power, solar panel, et cetera. But the problem is that the physics is not there, right? Fossil fuels, for whatever their drawbacks may be, they have a tremendous amount of potential energy. And so they are able to produce the megawatts necessary to sustain large cities, to sustain the livelihood we know in America. The green technology is not close to that. And so as they close down power plants that run on fossil fuels and nuclear technology, and they switch to this green energy, they are not creating enough power for the state. And people are going to suffer as a consequence.
And is this a problem that you saw coming, or is this something that it was kind of unpredictable?
No, this is totally predictable. But unfortunately, issues like energy, especially when you get into conversations of climate change or saving the planet, et cetera, they take on a political patina. And the electric grid in America is not politics. It is physics, right? And the physics of this do not lie. So we could have predicted years ago where population growth would be, where economic growth would be, and how much energy a state like California would need. When you couple that with pushing these progressive green agendas that reduce our amount of kilowatt production, this is an inevitable consequence. Not only is it predictable, or was it predictable, but it is completely reversible. And the governor is kidding himself if he pretends that he cannot fix this problem, because he can.
And what could he do, say, immediately or in the short term to try and, say, for example, if these extreme weather continued for weeks or months, just as a hypothetically, what could be done in the immediate term?
Turn back on some of the power plants that he has turned off because they run on coal, because they run on natural gas, and they're quote unquote not green. He could buy more electricity from neighboring states. There's a tremendous amount of coal production that comes out of Oregon. There's an awful lot of hydroelectric that comes out of states east of California, et cetera. So there are things he can do, but the first thing he needs to do is he needs to, in his state, within the borders of California, turn back on those electric power plants that run on coal, that run on electricity. He may hate it. He may say it's not politically popular, it's not green, et cetera. But there is nothing worse than in an electric storm, in a heat wave, or in a crisis when you do not have power. We're talking about ventilators, we're talking about oxygen, respirators, power, electricity. It is truly the lifeblood of the country, of his state, and he is playing political games with it.
Yeah, I could see from his press conference yesterday, he seems worried. He does seem stressed, so I hope he can figure out a solution for it. Daniel, I appreciate you taking the time. Thanks so much.
Thank you.